Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Tiwani. As you can tell by the title, we're doing everything you need to know about moving into your first apartment. Because if I didn't know these things, I'd probably be spending a lot more money that I didn't need to spend and be a lot more stressed than I needed to be. So I just really want to make sure that I'm sharing all my tips and tricks with you guys so that you guys can have a seamless process of moving into your first apartment, because it can be tricky. So that's all the introduction I need, and let's get right into the video. So the first thing that you need to know before moving into your first apartment is that you can negotiate the rent. So for me, I negotiated my rent kind of. I saw the price that the apartment was listed for, and I texted the person that helped me with this whole process, which is the realtor, I believe. And I was like, I can get the lease signed this week if I can do it for this price, which was a notably lower price than what was listed for this unit. And she was just like, we can do that. I do think I could have said like, oh, how about this much? And like went down further, but I didn't even want to do that because I already shaved off a lot of my rent. Yeah, literally, she just was able to do that for me after me just asking over an email like, hey, I'll sign the lease if we can do it for this price. And that's exactly what happened, and that's how much I'm paying now. So I'm literally saving money just because I asked, can I pay less? And I feel like a lot of people don't know that or are scared to do that, but you might as well just ask. The worst they can say is no, so go ahead and ask. It can save you a lot of money in the long run. The next thing is to always look out for specials and deals, and let each apartment place that you tour, let them know about the deals that you've been hearing, especially if the deal that you've heard somewhere else is better. They might end up throwing in something else for you. Like for example, if somewhere that you toured the day before you're touring a new apartment is giving you like a free month of rent, but the one that you're just now touring is only giving you like half off rent for the first month, you can let them know that, and maybe they'll say, for you, we'll give you a free month of rent or something like that. Just always let them know that there's some competition out there and that you are not only looking at their spot. Let them know that there's competition, so that way they're more enticed to give you some more deals when you are touring and talking about prices with your realtor or whoever it is. The next thing that I highly recommend you do when you actually get your first apartment is to deep clean before you move in. Like your move-in day should just be dedicated to deep cleaning. So that being said, before you move in, before your move-in day, you just want to make sure you have all your cleaning supplies ready. You can get those from like Dollar General. You really don't have to spend a lot on cleaning supplies. They all do the same thing. Just make sure that you're reading the bottles and the packages of everything you get to make sure it's something that you want and something that's going to work for you in your home. Don't just get the first name brand that you see. This is something that doesn't take a lot of time, so you do want to make sure that you're taking the time that it requires to really be intentional about the things you're buying. And so by your move-in day, you should have all your cleaning supplies ready, and you should be dusting, sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, all that type of stuff. You want to run your dishwasher, wash your sink, wash your bathroom, and just all the things like that. You don't even know, even if it looks a little bit clean, you don't really know the condition of it when it was last thoroughly cleaned. You just want to make sure that you're going into a new clean space. Even if they say, oh yeah, we cleaned it before, unless it's like it smells clean, it looks clean, and all things like that, you should really make it a priority to do that stuff yourself. And it doesn't even have to take the whole day of your move-in day. If you like get there early, or if you're allowed to move in early in the day, you can like take half a day to clean your apartment and then have all your stuff be brought over. And then speaking of your move-in day, you want to take pictures of everything even before you clean it. Take pictures of everything, how the apartment is and how you got it. This is going to be really important for your security deposit, because you don't want to be blamed for something that was already like that in your apartment since day one before you even moved in. So you just want to make sure you're taking a picture of the whole room, and then take close-ups of like each wall and each like corner and everything. Take pictures of the tub, underneath the sinks, around any washers and dryers and all the pipes and stuff like that. You just want to make sure you have the documentation of when you moved in, so that if they think that you messed something up that was already looking a little bit messed up when you moved in, you can let them know that, and you are going to want to have that for your records. So if you have pets and you're planning to bring them into your apartment, or you're planning to get a pet later along in your apartment, and the place that you're staying in allows pets but requires you to pay a pet fee, whether it's a one-time deposit or a monthly payment or both, what you can do is register your pets as service animals so that you don't have to pay that. Because if your pet is a registered service animal or emotional support animal, then you don't have to pay those pet fees. But I wouldn't recommend you go behind your landlord's back and just bring the pets in, because there is a chance that they could find out. So I don't know the exact process of registering your pet as a service pet, but I know it can save you a lot of money if you do it that way instead of just bringing them in as a regular pet, if that's something that you're interested in. So the next thing I really want to share is where I got some of my furniture from, which is from an auction, which is really interesting even for me to say, because I would have never expected me to get stuff like furniture from an auction. But the stuff that I got was mostly new and unused, like they were in the original packaging, and I just got them for a lower price, probably because they were like returns or something like that. And so to find an auction in your city, you can just look up auction for furniture. The auction that I got things like my dining table, my bed frame, my living room TV stand. It's called Capital City Online Auctions. I don't know how many locations they have, but they do have plenty of locations around Ohio, and I don't know how many states they reach, but you can go on their website and you can look at the format of how they present their products. Everything that I got at the auction I loved, except for my bed frame and my L-shaped desk. My bed frame, it's functional, but it didn't come how it looked on the website, and that was kind of disappointing, but I'm not going to complain too much because it still does work and it still looks good, especially when my bed is all made. Everything looks put together. But then for the L-shaped desk that I got from the auction, it was basically completely not right, but I should have known because I only paid $7 for it, and that one wasn't labeled as new. So the only thing that I would recommend for you is if you do go on these auction sites, you should make sure that everything that you're getting is labeled as new. If it's labeled as is, then anything could be wrong with it and you can't return it. Even if it's new, the moment that you take it off the property, you can't return it. So just make sure that you're checking everything after you buy it. But yeah, the process is just go online, go in the auctions, read the terms and conditions because that can be important for you. They do add like a 15% on your invoice before you pick up, basically like a tax. But then they also add a tax. So just pay attention to all those things. The price that you're seeing, that you're bidding on, is probably not the price that you're going to end up paying. I guess it does depend on the auction site that you go with, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is for most auctions. And then pay attention to your pickup time. For Capital City Online Auctions, I know that if you don't go pick up your items within the 4-hour time frame, then you can't pick up your items and your account gets suspended if you don't pick up your items during that time. So it's really important that you're free on the day that you have to pick items up for all the items that you're bidding on, because you don't want to just lose money or have your account get taken away just for you to not be able to pick up your stuff. And so after you do bid on your item, and if you win, then you just get an invoice. You don't pay for anything yet. And then during the pickup time, you go to the location that's on the website or the location that you bidded on. And then what you're gonna do is go up to the desk, and then you're gonna show them the invoice. They're gonna get all your payments settled, and then after you pay, you're gonna go pick up your stuff. There's a lot of equipment that you can use. So if there's like heavy furniture, they have like dollies and stuff like that, but still make sure that you have someone go with you if you're getting something like a couch or a TV stand or a desk or a dining table. Heavy things like that, you are gonna want 2 people with you, unless you can find someone nice to help you, but I wouldn't even recommend that. And if you rent equipment, you have to leave your ID with somebody that works there. And then after you take everything to your car, you go back and get your ID, and then you have your stuff. But before you take it outside, just remember, if it's labeled as new, you have a chance to return it before you take it out of the lot. So just make sure you're thoroughly checking. You can open the box, take everything out, inspect everything, and if it's not as it was described on the website, not by the picture, as it was described on the website, then you can return it. If it was labeled as is, then you just buy it and you take it, and even if it's not as described, it's still yours to take, and they can't really refund you. The way I found this auction was one of my friends who just moved out a few months before me sent me it, because I was asking them a lot of questions about the move out process, and they just sent that one to me. I'm just sharing that one with you guys, but you can look around for the auction that works best for you, and that's in your location. The next thing I would recommend you do for your new apartment is to pray over your entire space. And this is something I did on my move-in day, but then I also had a pastor and my pastor's wife, who actually lived not too far from me, come over with my family, and they just like anointed the space and anointed me. It was a really good program that they did for us, and I was really happy that they were able to do that for me. If you don't want to do it like that, or you just want to do it by yourself, I would just recommend going to each room and having a prayer in each room to really bless your space and leave everything in God's hands. Asking for protection, asking for productivity in those spaces, and that will definitely be worth it in the long run. And I don't know how it really works or if you can do it by yourself, but if you want to anoint it by yourself, you can just get some oil and put it on your doorpost and things like that. I really enjoyed having that for my space, and I would 100% recommend it for you. You should start shopping early for some of your items that you're going to be bringing into your apartment. I wouldn't recommend shopping early for like food or anything like that, unless it's like canned food or boxed food that has a faraway expiration date, but you don't need to like stock up on groceries before you move in. The things I would recommend that you get before you move in is stuff like cleaning supplies, your mattress, and your bed frame, because those are the things that you're gonna need. Like on night 1, you're gonna need somewhere to sleep, and then with that, you're gonna need sheets and stuff like that. So just all the stuff for your bed, all your shower stuff, if you're getting new shower stuff like a shower curtain, those are the type of things that you are gonna want to get before you move in. And then your cleaning supplies, somewhere to sit is really important too, stuff to eat with. What I'd recommend is 4 or 5 weeks out or 4 or 5 paychecks out, depending on what you want to do. I'd recommend setting like a certain amount of money aside and purchasing things for like each section at a time. So if you want to do your bathroom first or like cleaning supplies first, you can get all your cleaning supplies with one check and keep that with you. And then with the next check, you can get all your kitchen stuff like pots and pans and cutlery and stuff like that. The next check, you can get your bed frame, your mattress, and your sheets, and just slowly do it like that. Moving out can get really expensive, and if you're buying slowly like that, even before you move in, it can help kind of offset how big the cost is and help you afford it more that way. The next thing that you guys really need to do is educate on your specific moving experience. You can watch just any moving vlog and things like that, but you want to look up stuff like on YouTube or on TikTok that's in your area. Ask your friends around you who moved to a similar area that you have. Like if you're moving into a 1-bedroom apartment in so-so location during so-so time of the year, you can look that up and see what comes up for that search and get a personalized experience from somebody that kind of went through the same thing as you. Now, of course, it's going to be hard to know what location people are doing things in, but even just the state, knowing the state that people are moving into can be helpful, and get the tips and tricks from them so that you can make sure that you're prepared for what you're going to end up going through. So the next thing that I'm begging you guys to do is to read that lease, because there's going to be things, especially if it's your first time moving out, that you're not really going to understand during the whole process with talking to your realtor or your landlord. So you're going to want to read the lease. Anything that you don't know, ask your family, ask your friends, ask ChatGPT, look it up on TikTok. There's so many ways that you can understand your lease nowadays. And even though it sometimes can seem long or too complicated to read, I do recommend that you do read it, go through everything. Make sure everything that's in there is something that you and your person have talked about. Because if you sign the lease, that is a legal document that ties you to the responsibility of whatever that you just signed for. So you want to make sure that you're signing for what you talked about and what you're comfortable with. Any questions that you have, you want to make sure that those get answered before that lease gets signed. And if you have the lease available even before you're ready to sign it, like a week before you're ready to sign it, you want to make sure that you ask all the questions in a timely manner, because until you sign the lease, that apartment can be anyone's. Anyone can take it. It's not yours yet, so don't think that you just have all the time in the world to get anything settled or answered for you. And the lease can be changed, so make sure that you bring up all your concerns with your realtor and your landlord. So in most places, summer is actually the most expensive time to move. So if you have any flexibility for the time that you're gonna get a new apartment, just know that summer is the most expensive time. I believe where I am, winter is the least expensive time to move out, which is exactly what I did. I moved out in the winter instead of the summer, but also spring and fall are way less of a peak season than summer. Everyone's trying to move out in summer, and understandably so. The weather is great, school would have just ended or is about to start, so it all makes sense. But just know that since everyone is trying to get an apartment during that time, rates are going to be higher, and there's definitely going to be less availability of what you can even look at and end up getting. So even if you have a preference for summer, I would recommend moving out in the winter or in the fall if you don't want to move out in the cold, just so that you have more options of where you can move into and so that it can be cheaper. So this is something that I actually didn't know, and it's really important, which is that you have to turn on your utilities and put them in your name before you move into your apartment. So things like your water, your gas, your power, things like that, you need to contact whoever is the provider in your county or city or state, and you get all your utilities turned on. Even if it comes with the apartment, I believe that you still have to turn them on and put them under your name, unless it's outlined in your lease. It should be outlined in your lease whether you have to do that for yourself or not. And that's one of the things that I have to do. They tell you what the providers are, so you just look those up online, give them a call and say, hey, I'm moving into this place and I need to turn on my services. So if you know that's something that you need to do and you still have a little bit of questions, make sure you ask your landlord or realtor or ask ChatGPT what are the providers for so utility in this area. So this one is for if you're moving out by yourself and you love your own space. That's great. That's the same thing as me. I moved out by myself and I love being on my own with my own space and my own company. But make sure you just don't isolate yourself. If you have a good relationship with your family and your friends, you're gonna want to maintain that, because the last thing I want is for anyone to feel like alone or isolated in their own space. I personally don't feel that way because I'm really close to a lot of my friends and family still. Like, we're not that far away even if I'm in a different city, and we see each other often. And I think that it's really important to see people, go out and hang out with other people, especially if you're living alone. So just don't isolate yourself even before you move in. If you want to like make plans with your friends or set up certain events so that you are going out and being social, that's a really good idea, especially if you're working or in school. In all your free time, you're just going to want to spend time on your own, and that's completely fine. But just every once in a while, make sure you're going to events, hanging out, seeing your family, and and things like that. So I'm pretty sure this video was kind of all over the place, but I hope you really got something from it and it helped you feel prepared about moving out, whether it's for your first time or on your own or whatever it is. I hope you just feel more prepared than you were before. My camera is about to die and I don't want this video to be too long, so comment down below anything else you would like to know or anything else that you want. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. I'm pretty sure the next videos that are gonna come out that you guys are gonna see are my birthday vlogs, which I'm really excited about. So make sure that you stay tuned and turn on post notifications if you want to be a part of that journey, because my birthday is in a few days and I'm really excited. Yeah, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you then. Bye. The beneath of the sink, the under. So if you have pets and if you have pets and which is that you have to turn on your